Welcome back to SportSense, the show where I barrage my dad with questions about sports because I dropped the ball as soon as I moved out of the house, and now I don't know how to participate in everyday sports conversations with the people around me. Let's get into this week's episode.
It's time to get some SportSense. You're gonna get some SportSense. You better get ready for SportSense. SportSense.
Dad, hey, how's it going?
Good. It's good to hear from you. I'm ready to go though.
Oh, all right. Oh, I bet you are. I bet you're rearing, chomping at the bit. I'm trying to use more sayings. You taught me so many sayings growing up that I forgot.
Yeah. Well, most of them are good sayings, I think, but there are definitely a lot of Southern twists to them. So I might need to come with a interpretation guide.
Yeah. I used once in a blue moon the other day, and somebody was confused at me, and I said, "Come on, even I know that one." Yeah.
You gotta be careful who you talk to, I guess. Anyway.
Should we jump into
Let me jump in
to a recap?
Let me jump into a mea culpa. I have a mea culpa.
Wait, what's mea culpa?
Because mea culpa, like excuse me, it's mea culpa. Look it up. It's either Latin or Italian, but it's Latin. It comes from Latin.
Okay.
Root. Anyway, it means I screwed up. I made a mistake.
Oh, I did hear about this.
Yes, I don't want all the San Diego Padre fans to tell me what an idiot I am that I didn't remember there were 5 teams. So we talk about how many baseball teams, Major League Baseball teams, and I forgot the Padres. So
wait, so is
any
it
Padre fans out there? Please excuse me and forgive us because I do like the Padres. They hang in there most times.
Forgive us, yeah.
My own son-in-law had to correct me through a text, and I didn't like that. I like being smarter than that.
Anyway, that is tough.
That's the price you pay, when you get out there and put it out there. But remember, World Series started last Friday.
Okay, yeah.
So if we don't talk about it tonight, it's going to be done and nobody's going to hear about it next week because the Dodgers have just come out and flat out smoked, crushed, defeated, demoralized, clobbered. You give me every adjective I can find to the Yankees. The Yankees have gone and their star has hidden. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about somebody, but he has disappeared. Aaron Judge, he is gone like he's a 12-year-old little leaguer that got beamed in the head. I mean, he's just disappeared. But I got to tell you something. That's what's so important. So, by the way, we are a little late getting this recorded, and I can't. Like I said, it won't even be fun to talk about next week hardly. So the Dodgers are up 3-0.
That's crazy.
Already. They won 2 in L.A. They won in the Yankees at home at the Yankees last night, and they're playing right now.
As we're speaking.
And this could be a sweep.
This is Tuesday, October 29th. So,
yes,
okay, right now.
They're playing the 4th game. So here's what I got to tell you. I was all prepared to tell you one of my all-time favorite players who left the Braves and went back home. He's from California, and that was Freddie Freeman. I mentioned him before, and he plays for the Dodgers. But Freddie Freeman tied a record last night. He had hit 1 home run in 5 World Series games sequentially, meaning the 2 games in 2021, the last 2 games against when the Braves were playing the Houston Astros, Freddie Freeman hit a home run in each of those last 2 games. He started this World Series by hitting a home run in each of the first 3 games. So that's 5 games, 5 World Series games. That's the critical part. 5 World Series games in a row. He tied the record. There had only been 1 or 2 other players that ever done that. But guess what he did while you and I were just barely getting ready to talk?
Did he hit another?
He led off the first inning tonight with another home run. So he broke the record tonight.
That's so cool.
That's the big news. If you want to sit around and talk and know something, Freddie Freeman has now hit 6 home runs and 6 continuous World Series games. 4 this go around and 2 in 2021. So he now holds the record by himself.
Cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So he has 4 home runs and 9 RBIs, runs batted in, which is huge for a World Series. And they're just starting the 4th game. But I'm certain he just sewed up the MVP tonight of the World Series.
Cool.
No one's ever done that before, 6 in a row, much less. He started with 4 in a row the first 4 games. So I'm excited. I love Freddie Freeman, and I'm pulling for him individually. And this is over. If you didn't know, and you might have had this question, and this question might come up, has there ever been a team in the World Series down 3-0 ever come back and win? So I'm giving you a question.
Teeing it up, so to speak.
Teeing it up for you. Yes or no? We'll just give it
I mean,
easy for you
it
to start
seems.
with.
I mean, obviously,
Yes
it
or no?
seems insurmountable. It's got to have happened at some point in the history of baseball, right?
You would think.
But you're saying no?
Never happened. Here's what's happened. 2 teams have come back and taken it to the 7th game, meaning they lost the first 3, won the next 3, and then took it to the 7th game. 2 teams have done that, but they lost. So no one has ever come back from a 3. No team has
In
ever come
all
back
the
from a 3-0
history of
deficit.
professional baseball.
And all the history of Major League Baseball, correct.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay. Well, yeah, those are some.
All right.
Those are some. You kind of jumped into daddy tidbits. That's gonna be. That was.
Oh, sorry, man. It fits right with the baseball. You kind of got to get
That's
it.
good.
You can't
yeah.
separate
You're
it.
right. You're right.
And remember, we said it wasn't going to be daddy tidbits. What the heck?
I did write a backup name, and I'll save that.
Well, you got to.
I'll save that for
Yeah.
when you're ready to give some more tidbits later.
At least dad's tidbits. I don't know. We got to do better. Dad's nuggets.
I will say,
dad's
Dad's
beautiful,
nuggets. I will.
intuitive.
Well, the one I came up with as backup is fatherly morsels of knowledge. So
you are. Who do you think our audience
Sorry.
is? Harvard, Yale.
I'm expecting a bunch of
librarians.
probably a bunch of
don't you-
weirdos like me. I think.
I love good vocabulary, but let's condense. And if I gotta live with daddy tidbits, I will. It just seems. I don't know.
It seems kind of sticky.
work
That's
on
the
that.
thing. It's kind of sticky, actually.
It does. It does. Doesn't mean I have. I guess I don't have to like it. But
And
right,
for
so
a
that-
little,
yep.
just for a little family history between us, I never called you daddy myself, but I've always thought it was really cute that you called your dad daddy. So
I did.
which is
Yeah,
nice,
and I called my mother. That's kind of weird, isn't
Yeah,
it? I know,
daddy
but that's
and
the way I was
mother.
raised.
Yeah. Well,
Now you got 2 sisters, particularly one that loves the old daddy.
That's true.
So I got a couple daurs that call me
sweet
daddy,
talk you
but I
with
don't
it.
think the 4 men in the family sons they call me dad or worse. So
so no, those are awesome, and I wanted to recap the MLB stuff for sure. Like you said, I didn't realize we'd already be done. Like 1 week later, not have about
we
nothing to say.
shouldn't be.
That's
If it's
crazy.
good- If it goes to 7 games, we would have at least something to talk about. But I got a sneaking suspicion. Let's see. It's 2-0 already in the second
Wow.
inning. So I mean, let's just
Well,
be.
let me ask you while you look that up. I even with my limited sports exposure on social media, I've been seeing headlines about Ohtani, right? Shohei Ohtani,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, heck
and
yeah.
how he was injured or maybe injured or something.
Yeah, so he slid in base, and he partially separated his shoulder, but he's still playing. He's going
Whoa.
to play because he's not pitching this year. That's what makes him the most unique.
Oh, he's
player.
usually a pitcher.
Didn't you know? Did we not cover this at all?
No, we talked
This
about
is
how
the
he was
great-
like the greatest. I thought he was like the greatest hitter.
The reason he's going to be he's going to maybe be one of the greatest hitters. But what makes him probably the greatest player is he's a pitcher. And he had surgery last year, so he took this year off from pitching. But oh, by the way, he went ahead and hit 50 plus home runs and stole 50 bases, which nobody's ever done.
Wow.
And that's with a elbow from his pitching arm being repaired, and so he didn't pitch. So not only can he hit hard and far and for a high percentage and home runs, he's faster than about anybody. And you look at him, you can't believe that, but he is so fast. So he steals bases, hits home runs, and pitches at an incredibly high level.
Wow.
That just doesn't seem right, does it?
No, he doesn't have any sort of scandal for like steroids or doping or anything like that.
No. In fact, there's a great ESPN 30 on him. And I would recommend anybody to watch it. You learn about his whole upbringing. It is so fascinating. And yeah, it's really neat. It's really informative. You learn about Japanese culture. You learn about how he was raised and how he was built at age 5, 6, and 7, and 8, started mapping out his work day, his workout day, his preparation. I mean, it's crazy.
Cool.
So I would recommend anybody to watch that. I thought it was fascinating. Not just for sports, but in human behavior. I thought it was crazy.
He sounds admirable. I like it.
Yeah, no, I think the world there's only one little thing that happened to him. He had a bad interpreter manager who stole money from him to pay off gambling debts, but that wasn't his fault. He just trusted the wrong person.
Yeah.
But really, that's kind of the wrap up. I'm sad to say it looks like it's going to be a very boring series. Now, there's a chance tonight that the Yankees will come back because the Dodgers are using for their pitchers tonight what they call their bullpen staff. So they didn't even really have a starting pitcher. They're just going to use like 6, 7 pitchers tonight, all from their bullpen because they've been limited with their starting pitchers. But last time they did it, it worked well and they won. But tonight, there's a chance the Yankees, out of pure pride, they're down 2-0 at bottom of the second, but they do have two men on base and one out. So I predict the Yankees will suck it up somehow and come up with a win in front of the home crowd to at least extend the series another game. But that's what I'm hoping. I mean, good heavens, it'd be terrible if it's over tonight.
Yeah. Well, while we're on it, let's add I want to try to add to our lingo glossary every episode. So you just said something about, first of all, bullpen, and then you're talking about, I don't know, you're talking about backup pitchers. Let's go over what you were just saying.
So in baseball, you have pitching is grouped in two segments. First is what you call a starting pitcher. Okay, that's the one there's usually a rotation of 4 starting pitchers. And you hopefully have all good, healthy starting pitchers. Sometimes they get injured. So they start the game. And then in today's baseball, very different than when I grew up. Because the old days, a starting pitcher often would try to pitch all 9 innings. It's called a complete game. But in today's world, the way they manage is they hope to get their starter through the 5th or 6th inning.
Okay.
After that, they go to the bullpen. The bullpen is what you'll see it in different stadiums. It's where the guys who come in, and they're generally were called the closers in the old day, closers. So they bring a guy in to pitch 1 or 2 innings, basically to close the game. The bullpen is back where they're behind the fence. You'll see them caged in. You'll see them warming up, right? Areas where you have 2 catchers and 2 pitchers, and they warm up. And that's when the old manager goes to the telephone. You ever seen on the phone in the dugout? Goes to the phone and calls them up. And tells the pitching coach, send in Rico Cardinal. I don't know, whoever. That's not even a pitcher's name that I know. But send them in, and they stop the game. The manager walks out to the mound. This is one beautiful thing about baseball. And the coach tells the pitcher, whatever he tells them, you suck, or you're the best, or don't worry about it, we'll get them next time, or you did great for the time you're in, we're bringing in our closers, or we're bringing in our pitcher to get through the 6th inning and the 7th inning. So they're short-term pitchers. Out of the bullpen come your short-term pitchers. They're worth 1 or 2 innings, 2 max. Nowadays, mostly 1 inning.
Wow.
So you could see your starting pitcher go 6 innings and then have 3 different pitchers. A pitcher in the 7th inning, a pitcher in the 8th inning. These are all different. And then bring in the closer. The closer's meant to come in and just either have so much smoke or so much speed, so much whatever ability that they basically, once you bring him in, you count on nobody getting a hit those last 3 outs. Okay. And that's how they manage pitching now in Major League Baseball.
Wow. Cool. Well, I like that. I think that'll be our lingo lesson for today is bullpens and bonus term closers. So I like that. In baseball,
something like that. Yeah, there's some more to it, but we'll go with that. That'll be our starter. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Those are the actual terms I heard, but I liked all the education in between. That was good. Okay, well, great. Yeah, so we caught up on the MLB finals. Rest in peace, Aaron Judge.
Well, he'll be back next year. Let's hope. He's just having a terrible playoff.
Okay,
just having a terrible playoff. That's all.
Man, yeah. So yeah, jumping into college football. Yep. Who was Oregon hosting again? Remind me.
They were playing Illinois, the Illini.
Oh, okay. Yep. And you were saying Illinois could kind of maybe beat them, but we weren't really sure.
No, I wasn't calling for that much. I mean, they were going to give them a test a little bit, but they're not.
What happened there?
But remember we said where they were playing, right?
Yeah, the super loud Oregon Stadium.
So the result was Oregon crushed the Illini. Okay. It was 38-9. Ooh. See, and I told you it was going to be hard for Illinois to get their offense going, to be able to hear well enough and it happened. They crushed them.
Okay.
That was it.
All right.
Move on. They're still number 1. They're looking good. They're getting better each week.
Bada bing, bada boom.
But we also had, did you write my prediction down game? My game that I thought, I told you was one that I called.
Nope, can't remember.
It was for number 14, Texas A&M. Against number 8, LSU. SEC big matchup. Very important game for the conference, positioning.
Tell me what happened.
And I picked Texas Tech, and they did. They beat LSU, number 8 LSU, who's really had a chance to already be talking about national championship this year. Ooh. They beat them 38-23, so they kind of handled them pretty well. It was a competitive game, but Texas A&M flat out took it to them.
That's awesome. You called that right.
Well, that's a home game for Texas A&M. That's not a stretch. That's not like I went way on a limb, but I did feel like LSU was vulnerable at Texas Tech.
Amazing.
I mean, Texas A&M, not Texas
Okay.
Tech, Texas A&M.
Okay.
And there was one other college game, just out of curiosity, or remember the two teams we talked about that was interesting? Remember it had been like 60 years about these two teams?
Oh, yes. Army, Navy, right?
Yeah. They weren't playing
Wait.
each other, but yeah.
Yeah.
So what was interesting? Do you remember what was interesting about them?
Well, we talked about
last
this is the
week.
first time in 60 years, right? That they've both been ranked together.
Yep.
And then we talked about how they played a
And
final.
since 1945, it was the first time they've been undefeated.
I
at the
did
same
forget
time.
that. Okay. Yeah.
Well, Navy's defeated now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Notre Dame crushed them. They beat them bad. Notre Dame walked all over them, beat them 51-14.
Holy cow.
Now Notre Dame is ranked 12th, and there's a chance. They're 13th or 12th, depending on which poll, and there's a chance they'll make it to the college football playoff. We'll see, but they've got to win out. They had a horrible loss. Notre Dame did to start the season against a good Northern Illinois team at Notre Dame, but that's kind of a semi powder puff game or semi easy game to start your season, supposedly. And Northern Illinois came in and beat Notre Dame. So everybody kind of wrote Notre Dame off after the first game. But guess what? They've gone undefeated since. They are looking better and stronger. And they really manhandled a really good Navy team. So who knows, right?
Okay.
So they're no longer undefeated, just Army.
Okay.
Do you want to touch base on the NFL?
Yeah.
There's only one thing I really want to talk about last week. This is the only thing that really matters. I mean, there's some things like the Jets stink. They're 2-6. They got all these guys. Everybody's blasting the Jets this week. So it's kind of good to know, all the talk shows. It's really been a humiliating and humbling experience for Aaron Rodgers. So the Jets stink. That's one of the top. The Dallas Cowboys stink. I hate to talk all the negatives, but these are two top things that were talked about.
Is it just good to know?
But
I guess it's good to know that kind of stuff. If you hear jokes about them or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
But the Jets are even worse than the Cowboys. I mean, it's embarrassing what they're doing. But here's the one game we did mention last week that was really interesting. I told you about the two rookie quarterbacks, the Washington Commanders going against Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
The kind of two hottest rookie quarterbacks, and the quarterback, that was injured for the Commanders, or Freddie wasn't going to be able to play, but he was able to play. I want to give it a bunch of names. This is what you got to know. Commanders won 18-15, but this is how they won. The Commanders were down, so it's 15-12, 15-11, I guess. Had to go back and look. They were down, right? And they had less than 22 seconds total, and they were on like the 35-yard line. And they had to go 65 yards for a touchdown. And they didn't have any timeouts.
22 seconds left in the game at this point, you're saying?
Yes. So Chicago's defense, bottom line, made two horrific decisions. The first one, on the first play, they didn't even cover anybody, the receivers. So Commanders quarterback fired a pass to the sideline. So if you get the ball on the sideline, catch it, and step out of bounds, the clock stops.
Okay.
So they didn't defend them. So they gave up about 13, 14 yards on that pass and got them to midfield. Now that only took like 4 or 5 seconds. So there's like 16 or 17 seconds left. And they're at the 50-yard line. And Jaden Daniels is the Commanders quarterback. And this is the play they always call the Hail Mary. Have you heard of the Hail Mary?
Yes. Yep. I mean, I think that's a classic one everybody knows, hopefully.
Yeah, so throw it way up in, well, I don't know. You didn't know a couple of. So anyway, throw it up in the end zone and like 10 or 12 guys are all huddled around, knocking around, trying to catch it, right? That play has about a 1% success rate. So it is literally that low, I mean, of all tries.
Okay.
Well, Chicago only rushed 3. And they had a fourth guy just kind of watching Jaden Daniels from behind the line, making sure he didn't run. Well, that's a joke. He's got to run 65 yards. And he's got a whole team that could tackle him before he got to the end zone, right? So why they wasted a player running back and forth, who knows? Yeah. So there's two crazy funny parts. One of the players, and he's young and immature, and he's already come out and apologized, and he was also embarrassed, supposedly. But one guy is seen on the video running down the sideline. Jaden Daniels is taking the snap. He is running around, making gestures and faces at the Commanders crowd. He's actually trolling them and mocking them as he's kind of running. Jaden Daniel all this time is running around like crazy, and then there's that big pile of guys in the end zone. Well, this guy runs to the end zone finally, and this guy had a bad day. He gets into the pile. Jay Daniels throws the ball 65 yards. He's about the 35-yard line. A bomb in the air, sky high. And it comes down in that crowd in the end zone.
Just a bunch of bodies colliding together.
Yeah, the defender's job is to do one thing: knock the ball down, knock it down. Well, that same guy that was hamming it up down the field at first, and then realized, oops, he better hustle and get some. They got in the scrum, and he jumped, high pointed the ball, but knocked it up in the air behind him. And guess who was behind him?
Yeah,
the receiver, who catches it, touchdown, game over, Commanders win.
Wow. That's crazy.
This guy was crucified for days already. That poor man, I promise he'll never do it again. He learned his lesson, but that's a tough way to learn a lesson.
That's hilarious that even with all his taunting and jeering, that he still had time to make it down.
He still got
there.
back to the pack, yeah.
And then,
that's how much time he had.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then tipped it the wrong way, I guess. That's crazy.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into this weekend. What's the top game that we're looking out for to be aware of this weekend?
Number 3 ranked in the country, Penn State, versus one of their hated rivals, Ohio State, who's ranked number 4. So you got the number 3 team against the number 4 team, conference matchup. This is big deal. This is Big Ten football. That's the conference. So right now, Ohio State's got one blemish. They're 6-1. But guess who their one loss came from?
Ohio. Did they play BYU? No.
This is Ohio State.
Ohio.
Don't dare just say
Sorry.
Ohio, because there is an Ohio University.
So this is not the Ohio. Ohio
This
State.
is the Ohio State.
Oh, this is the Ohio State. Okay.
All the people that go there drive you nuts with the Ohio State.
I can't remember who they lost to.
They lost to Oregon.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting,
Yeah.
right? Oregon's number 1. And they lost to them 32-31. It was an unbelievable game, came to the wire. So, you know what I mean? In that world, that's not a bad loss.
Yeah.
If you're going to have a loss, you've lost to the number 1 team in the nation. You lost by 1 last seconds. And they're playing Penn State, who is undefeated. They're 7-0. So this is a big game. Ohio State really needs to beat Penn State to kind of equalize things in the Big Ten championship race.
Yeah.
But that's the one this week. You can just put it
What
on note.
What are they both ranked as right now?
That's what I said. I said, you're not listening.
Sorry.
To me, man. What the heck?
Well, I heard Penn State 7-0.
No,
Ohio.
that was the record. That was the record.
Sure.
Before that, I'm sorry. Penn State's number 3.
Okay.
Ohio State number 4.
Oh, okay, that is cool.
Oh, right? Yeah, right. It's the best matchup of the week by far of ranked teams playing each other.
Okay, cool.
That's it. That's our big one we're going to look
College football continues to reign as the big game to look out for so far in the podcast. It seems like it's college football season. It's like what's hot right now for sure, right?
Yeah. And NFL's building. There's some good ones. So top game of the week for NFL.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you. Yeah. Detroit 6-1 against Green Bay 6-2.
Okay.
They're in the same conference. They're battling it out for the NFC North, and both really good teams. I think Detroit's the home team, and I think they'll beat them. But that's the game to watch. Hey, remember what I said, by the way, about the Yankees? I told you they're up 5-2 now in the third. So they got a bunch of runs.
Wow. Okay. You really know your stuff.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
But the game's not over. Believe me, both teams could just be putting
crazy.
up a bunch of runs tonight.
Right. Let's wrap up tonight, Dad, with a couple things. Let's give you a dad stumper.
I'm 2 for 2. You got okay. I'm ready.
Get ready to break that streak because I'm on an article right now titled 292 Sports Trivia Questions Ranked from Easiest to Hardest. And we're going to go to the very bottom here.
No, you cannot. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, this is too much. I'll give you this one for fun, and then I'll give you a more normal one. Okay, in which Olympic sport might you see a Rudolph or a Randolph performed? So the athletic task performed is a Rudolph or a Randolph. Okay.
Yeah, I understand the question. A Rudolph or a Randolph. Oh my gosh. The only thing I could guess, Rudolph or Randolph. Man, it would have to be something strange like, I guess individual ice skating.
Okay, that's a pretty good guess. Nope. Yeah, the answer to that one is apparently trampolining.
Daggone.
Isn't that crazy? I didn't.
That
I
is.
forgot.
You can't give me those. You got to give me real
Oh
sports.
yeah, let's go. I know that was just for fun. Let me give you a real sport because Olympic. I mean, there's so every time the Olympics go on, I'm like that. What? How long has that been in the
Yeah,
Olympics?
I did not know, and I thought I knew almost all the Olympic games.
That was a
and
tricky
I love
one.
Olympics.
All right, we might not even.
And I didn't know they did trampolining. So okay.
And I'm seeing.
No, that's fun. Keep it in there. It's fun.
Well, I'm seeing some.
That's impressive.
Let me give you one about a normal sport. I actually learned this one. I learned this one myself recently, just the other day. So, I mean, this is probably a layup, but what?
Don't say that. Then I'm really in a lot of pressure.
Well, it's news to me, but which coach turned the Green Bay Packers from the worst team to the absolute best team?
Vince Lombardi.
All right, there you go. Dang it. All right. Well, I just
Thanks for giving me that after giving me trampolining. I do appreciate that.
All right, there you go. Well, how about we'll set some rules. They got to be about the sports that we talked about in the episode.
Yeah,
We'll
I
make
think that's
that a rule.
reasonable.
So, okay.
But hey, I got another one, so keep it in there at least.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't
We'll
take it
say
away
you're
from
3
me.
for 0 as far as those rules go.
There you go.
Or 3-4-0. I don't think that's
3 and 0.
Yeah.
3 and 0.
3 and 0.
3 for 3 is what you
There
were
we
thinking.
go. 3 for 3. All right. Well, last thing, we do have a mailbag question. We got our first mailbag question.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So this, I think this could be a made up name, but this is from Teddy apparently. And
This is one of your friends. What's going
it
on?
might
here?
be it might be from one of my friends, but the question is why do the big men always chase the little ball?
What? Why do the big men always chase the little ball? Man, all I can only thing I can relate, the closest this could possibly be is either football or rugby, because they all look like big men to some people, but
Yeah.
especially rugby. They all look big and they chase the little ball and they jump on top of each other trying to get the little ball and to get the little ball out so they can kick it between two posts. So
Okay.
they do it so they can score points and win the game. How about that?
And yeah, go sports team, go. Well,
That's right.
that's hilarious. I suspect we might get more questions from this person in the future. So Teddy, whoever you
Okay.
are, sleep with one eye open.
Right, we'll call them out if we have to.
Yeah.
We'll improve on them if we need to.
Okay, well, let me just sum this up. I'll do a quick recap of what I learned tonight. Yankees are about to get absolutely pummeled in the World Series. Dodgers are almost a for sure win. Okay, Commanders had a crazy win against the Bears. Those are the two rookie, very exciting quarterbacks to keep an eye on.
But the crazy win is Hail Mary, right?
Yeah, with the crazy Hail Mary, the defender taunting the audience. That was hilarious.
Yeah, there you go. Those are two critical things you need to know.
Okay.
Yep.
So those are my favorite
And
highlights.
the Hail Mary was just with like 2 or 3 seconds to go. So.
Yeah. Well, those are my favorite. Those are my favorite moments from the recap. But what's to watch this weekend? We're most excited for college football to see Penn State, who's ranked number 3, to go against Ohio State, ranked number 4. That should be really exciting. And I probably won't watch that, but I'll be thinking of you and look forward to hearing
All
about
right.
it next week.
We'll
I
keep
don't
an
know.
eye
Maybe
on
I'll try. Maybe I'll turn a new leaf this weekend.
By the way, no BYU mentioned because this their week off.
Okay, no BYU this
The bye
weekend.
week. But then they've got their ultimate hated rival the next weekend.
Yes, that's a big deal.
Yes. So we'll talk all about that when that comes.
Okay, exciting. Okay. As far as NFL, keep an eye on Detroit hosting Green Bay. And little glossary update. Last week we talked about hitting a bomb in baseball. And new this week we talked about the bullpen in also in baseball, and that's where coaches draw pitchers from, like kind of the reserves.
Yeah,
I
they're
understand
called-
it's the pitcher reserves is how I understand it.
Well, they're relief. They're called relief,
Okay, relief.
pictures. Let's get that word in there.
Okay.
Relief pictures. Correct.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yep.
And then I also noticed you said powder puff game. And I'd heard that term before, but I wasn't aware what it was. But you're just saying that's like a layup game at the beginning of the season, just to
Yes.
build some confidence, kind of.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Just to get a win on the record that's not too trying, and test out a few things and warm up for the season.
Great. Okay. Well, with that was a great episode, Dad. Thanks so much for joining me. And
Absolutely, Coop.
thanks everybody for tuning into SportSense.
See you, Coop.
See you, Dad.
Sports Sense.